this is the mentality you want to have, and you need to stop caring about losses because losses are inevitable, and you should stop caring so much about wins as well, right? Whenever you win, you shouldn't be ecstatic out of your mind. Oh my god, I just got a gold 1, guys. Look at this. I'm gold 1 RR. Like, stop caring about it, okay? Hey guys, so in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the top 5 tips you can use to basically stop tilting in Valorant, right? I speak from experience. You guys know that I struggle tilting if you watch my streams in the past. I struggle with tilting. It's one of my main weaknesses. I guess I just have a proclivity to sort of get angry at video games whenever I don't like losing. You know, that's a big part of it. I don't usually get angry at teammates. I have to be very tilted to get angry at teammates. Like, I have to have lost multiple games in a row. But my point here is, right, that I have experience getting tilted, so I know what it takes to not tilt, basically. So anyways, let's go ahead and jump into the first tip, guys. The first tip is stop blaming teammates, and this tip is non-negotiable, okay? There are no if, ands, or buts about this tip. If you don't follow this tip, you're going to tilt, you're going to get angry, and you're not going to enjoy your time playing comp, okay? This is a non-negotiable tip. So if you blame teammates, you are going to end up getting angry. So again, how can you actually do this, right? So whenever a teammate does something really bad, okay, people in lower rank or people in like any rank, sometimes their tendency is to blame them. And this is the worst thing that you can do, right? Why? Because Valorant is a team game. If you're going to flame your teammates, especially early on into a game, like before the game's even really gotten started, then you're basically just saying that your chances of winning are 0, okay? Like, you're basically just saying that your team is not actually your team's the enemies. But your team is not your enemies, okay? The enemy team are your enemies, but even they aren't really your enemies. You are your enemy, okay? You are your only enemy. So don't blame teammates, guys. When you blame a teammate, your team's morale drops as well as your motivation to win. Your team's motivation to win, your team's morale will drop, your motivation to win will drop, right? It's basically like a form of giving up whenever you blame a teammate, right? You don't need to blame teammates, okay? You can be like, good try, good try. If someone does something absolutely horrible and absolutely like horrifying to watch that's really bad, you can just be like, good try, we got this. Let's win next round, right? You can just say good try. That's basically what I say, right? I just say good try, you know? We go next round, we win the next round, we don't care, you know, what's the point of flaming them, right? If you're flaming them, that just shows more about you than it does them. If you're blaming your own teammate, that shows that you have built up anger inside of you, okay? So if you have anger inside of you, that's fine, but don't put that onto your teammates. That is not your teammate's problem. That is your problem, okay? And so that's kind of where taking a break would come in, but we can talk about that here in a bit. So anyways, guys, let's go ahead and move on to the next tip. So the second tip that's going to really help you stop tilting is stop giving attention and focus to things that simply do not matter, okay? So again, blaming teammates is absolutely one form of this, but there are many forms of this. So, you know, whenever you have a pessimistic mindset and you sort of nitpick all of the bad things that you're doing, whenever you're like, I should have killed that guy, oh, I'm so bad, right? That's you know, those are other forms of giving attention to things that simply don't matter. So whenever you do that, basically you're taking away focus from things that actually do matter in order to improve, right, as a player, as an overall player. And you're focusing on things that are going to spiral you downward into a direction that you do not want to go. And this is how people lose a lot of rank, right? This is how you derank a lot. And this is just not what you want to do. So, you know, again, focusing on things like how bad your team is or how many rounds you are behind as a team or anything that you're doing or that your teammates are doing wrong, anything at all that's basically just not necessary to focus on. This is what I'm talking about, okay? So instead, focus on things that will lead to your improvement, right? That will lead to your benefit, right? So whenever you focus on something bad, instead try to focus on something like, guys, okay, I think we should go here because the enemies seem to be stacking that side, right? Like, that would be a really good example of that. Or, okay, I think I need to take a break after this game, I'm getting a little frustrated. Or, okay, I think I should play some more deathmatch. I think I should play 2 extra death matches real quick, right? Those are like, you know, obviously you can apply this to different scenarios. You can apply it to end game, you can apply it to your overall mentality when warming up, you can apply it to, you know, aim lab, you can apply it to a lot of things. But really the general idea is stop giving attention to stupid things that seem little, but whenever you focus on a bunch of little things, it adds up a lot, right? And whenever things add up, it makes a big difference. So if you focus on instead a bunch of small little things that actually add up and benefit you, you're really going to, you know, reap big rewards in the future, okay? So hopefully this tip makes sense. Again, I'm sure I can't read all of your guys' mind. I'm sure that you guys have different things that you focus on that you know you should probably not be focusing on, even if it's at a subconscious level. But you really have to identify those things for yourself because, again, I'm not a mind reader. I can't say everything that you shouldn't be focusing on in this video. I could, but it would take forever, right? So you have to identify that for yourself, and I'm basically just giving you the tools to do so, okay? So hopefully this tip makes sense, and let's go ahead and move on to the next one. So the third tip is going to actually kind of tie into the second one, and it is stop caring about losses, okay? So again, caring about losses is basically giving focus to something that is going to only hurt you, is only going to drag you down. It's only going to spiral you down in a direction that you don't want to go, okay? But I think this tip is worth noting on its own because so many people care about losing. So many people emphasize and underscore losing and losses and like lost RR and like they, you know, this also ties into like caring about your rank. Stop caring about your rank, right? Like people care about this so much, I think it's just worth its own tip, okay? So what should you focus on if you're not focusing on winning the game, right? I'm not saying that you shouldn't care about winning. I'm saying you shouldn't care about losses, okay? There's a difference, is there not? There's a difference between caring about losing and caring about winning. You should want to win. You should play to win. And you should not give up in the middle of the game because you're like, oh, well, Duckeeh said don't care about losses. I'm not saying that, okay? I'm saying when you do lose, because losing is inevitable, right? Whenever you do lose, you should just accept it and move on, right? But above caring about winning, what you should care about more and what you should put more emphasis and focus on is care about learning and care about improving instead, okay? You know, I've said this in the past. This is nothing new, okay? Whenever you focus on improving, good things start to happen for yourself, okay? Whenever you have the 1% better a day mentality, things start to get better for yourself. You know, care about learning. Are you playing with an agent that's not normally on your team? Learn something about it. Are you pushing a site and you don't normally go to a spot on that site? Learn something about it, okay? You know, improve. Focus on improving, right? Focus on becoming 1% better every day. Focus on throwing a flash out there where you don't normally throw a flash. Focus on using your comms a little bit better that game. Focus on, you know, not getting tilted at your teammates because you usually do. You know, focus on, I don't know, focus on aim training. Focus on deathmatching one more game a day than you normally do, right? This is the mentality you want to have, and you need to stop caring about losses because losses are inevitable, and you should stop caring so much about wins as well, right? Whenever you win, you shouldn't be ecstatic out of your mind. Oh my god, I just got a gold 1, guys. Look at this. I'm gold 1 RR. Like, stop caring about it, okay? It's not, you know, it's great to be excited that you got a rank up, but you know, at the end of the day, what does it really mean? What really matters for your rank is your skill. And if your skill suffers, if your mentality suffers, if you're tilting every game, that's what's going to hold you back, okay? So hopefully this tip makes sense. If you guys have any questions about it, let me know in the comments, but I'll see you guys in the next tip. So this tip is more related to what do you do if you're currently tilting a lot and you don't really know like how to control your anger or how to control like your negative emotions. So this tip really you can't go wrong with, and this tip is to take a break every once in a while, okay? If you play this game a lot, I know that this game can feel like a chore sometimes, okay? And whenever this game feels like a chore, why would you force yourself to continue playing if you don't need to, okay? I understand, like, you know, I hate when people say as well to me, like, oh, it's just a game. Like, I hate that, but you do have to understand that games are meant to be played for some level of fun, no matter how much of a goal you want to reach or no matter how much you want to improve. You know, if you're not having any fun at all and it's all just anger or negativity, like, it's time for a break, okay? Like, enjoy yourself. Go treat yourself to something. Go play a fun game. Go take a break from video games entirely. Go to the gym. I don't know. Go on vacation, you know, do something, right? So breaks are extremely useful for a mental reset, right? So, like, whenever you play this game a lot, you might have a lot of memories of, like, poor teammates, and so, like, you project those negative, you know, experiences with teammates onto your current teammates, which is really bad because, like, you know, you don't want your teammates to be like that, right? So your default shouldn't be like assuming the worst from them, right? You should assume the best, and then if they prove to be horrible teammates, then that's not really your problem, okay? So yeah, a mental reset, like whenever you take a break, that just goes away, and you come back with a fresh mind, and you typically, you know, depending on how long of a break, you know, I usually say 2 to like 4 days. You know, it could be a little shorter, a little longer. It kind of depends on you. It kind of depends on like, you know, what you're doing during the break. Like if you're playing a different FPS or if you're aim training every day during the break, then, you know, like there's a difference between taking a break from Valorant and there's a difference between taking a break from Valorant and not playing any FPS. Because if you take a long break with you're not playing any FPS games, then your mechanical ability is going to become a lot worse. And I know that's not what this video is about, but it kind of does tie into the break. So, but yeah, you know, very useful for a mental reset. Again, if you take a short little break, that is going to really refresh your mind. And if you feel like you're stuck in a rut right now where you just keep losing and you feel like you have horrible teammates and you don't want to blame them, but you still feel like that, and you feel like everything's just bad in this game, then take a break. Again, you don't have to force yourself to play this horrible, horrible game whenever it feels like a horrible, horrible game. And then you can take a break, come back, and it'll feel like an amazing, lovely, lovely game, right? And that's just kind of how it goes, okay? So hopefully this tip makes sense. You know, I think I figured out tied in there. It's kind of like a little bit of a remedy to a poor mental or to anger or to just kind of, a bad time in Valorant. If you guys are having a bad time, trust me, I've been there. I think we've all been there whenever you play ranked. But yeah, guys, let's move on to the final tip here. So now I'm going to be talking about a tip that I believe to be an extremely valuable one, and this is actually a life lesson that you can learn, okay? So remind yourself that you are your only true enemy, right? So when I say this, I mean it literally, okay? Like, whenever you think, oh, there's an enemy team, like, yes, this is true, there is an enemy team, but you don't control the enemy team. The only thing you control that relates to the enemy team is yourself, right? So, you know, whenever you think of someone like Tins or a really good pro player, you know, they understand that, like, no matter how good the enemy team is, if I'm better, then I win, right? And, you know, relating this back to tilting, you know, taking it back a step, you know, if no matter how toxic teammates or enemies are, the thing that determines how, you know, the thing that determines whether or not you get angry is you, okay? I understand that you can have really, really, really bad teammates that say really nasty things sometimes, but at the end of the day, there's a mute button. At the end of the day, you're the one that determines your feelings, your thoughts, your emotions, and also your perceptions, your, you know, how you like your drive toward Valorant. And so if you let those teammates determine whether you want to win or lose, whether you're angry or sad or happy or depressed, then, you know, that speaks about something within inside of you, okay? And so you want to have control of, you want to have more control over how you let them affect you, okay? So, you know, this ideally prevents anger from all external sources. So if you really truly understand this and you don't let anyone get to you, you know, the best players in this game cannot let other players affect them, right? Whenever a pro player gets into a comp game and they solo queue, like, I don't know how much pro players actually solo queue. I'm sure some pros actually do solo queue quite a lot, but they're not going to let random people affect them because they don't care, right? Why would you care about what one random person is saying on the internet? Like, I don't care. Are you going to say some dumb shit? Okay, I'm going to mute you, okay? Bye-bye. I'm still going to try to win the game because, you know, that's me. That's my strength. That's my energy. You know, I'm strong, you know? So you want to be like that. You don't want to be the person that is very easily persuaded or very, very easily, you know, negatively influenced by your teammates or by the enemy team, or, you know, very easily gives up because your teammates are giving up or something like that. So again, understand that you're your only true enemy. If you can conquer your own mind, you can conquer everything. Okay? So hopefully this video was useful for you guys. Let me know if you have any questions about tilting. You know, please don't complain in the comments about how tilted you are. Actually, that's fine. I don't really care. You guys can vent. But anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace, guys.